Hi everyone, I'm Josh from Fuchs Software. In this video, I'm going to provide you with information and go through a tutorial on how Aid4Mail version 5 can process Google Vault Mbox exports that are downloaded via the Google Vault platform. When you download a Google Vault export, it is important that the XML and CSV files are also downloaded and saved in the same location as the main zipped file. Inside the main zipped file, you have additional zipped files that contain the Mbox files for each email address. Depending on your criteria and the amount of data your Google Vault export contains, you may have multiple main zipped files. Here's how Aid4Mail handles the Google Vault zipped Mbox exports. It can access the Google Vault Mbox files located in the zipped files in their native format. This means you don't need to unzip all the main files or the files inside the zipped files to get access to the Mbox files. This will save you quite a lot of time. Aid4Mail 5 can process all the emails for each email address while preserving the labels and header information for each email. This means Aid4Mail will be able to preserve the folder structure and save the emails with multiple labels into each target folder. Also, Aid4Mail provides functionality to create multiple sessions in the Aid4Mail 5 GUI to convert all the Mbox files from each email address to a separate PST file or other supported format. Just to make it clear that support for Google Vault zipped Mbox exports is only available in the Aid4Mail 5 Enterprise license. So now let's walk through how you can process Google Vault zipped Mbox exports with Aid4Mail version 5. First, let's take a look at the Google Vault folder and file structure. Here I have a Google Vault export that I've downloaded. Inside, you'll see I have all the files that are needed for Aid4Mail version 5 to process the Google Vault export. First, we have the main zipped file, the XML, and the CSV file. Again, it's really important that the XML and CSV files are downloaded and saved in the same location as the main zip file. If we open up the main zip file, you'll see that we have additional zip files. These zipped files contain the Mbox files for each account. Now let's close this and open up Aid4Mail 5 to set up some sessions to process the Mbox files. Once Aid4Mail version 5 is open, we can now set up the first session to process one of the email accounts inside the Google Vault export. First, I always like to update my session name so that it's unique and easy to find if we ever need to go back and review the logs. Under source, we'll be selecting Google Vault zipped Mbox files as the source format, and then under location, we'll point Aid4Mail to the location of the Google Vault export. Next, under target, we'll be selecting PST file as the target format, and then we'll tell Aid4Mail to save this first PST file in the Google Vault PST folder, and we'll have the file name of the PST file be helpdesk@aid4mail.com. Next, under location, this indicates where Aid4Mail will save the emails inside the PST file, so we'll save them under the base folder Google Vault export. Under folder structure, we want to make sure that same as source folder structure is selected. This will tell Aid4Mail to recreate the folder structure from the Google Vault export. Now, under Filter, we'll click on Select in Folder Tree. As you can see, Aid4Mail already populated the two Mbox files inside our Google Vault export. As we only want to process the first Mbox file helpdesk@aid4mail.com, we'll just deselect the OEM@aid4mail.com Mbox file. And there you go, our first session is already all set up. As we also want to process the OEM@aid4mail.com Mbox file, we'll first open up the session list and then use the duplicate button to duplicate the first session. Now, in the new session, we first just want to go and update the session name, and then we want to update the PST file under the target so that we save the emails to a new PST file. So we'll just update the file name here. Now everything else will stay the same, and we'll go down here to the filtering. Inside the select in folder tree, we'll deselect the help desk and then select the OEM. Now both of our sessions are all ready to be processed. If you have, for instance, 100 sessions, you might want to also go under Options, Sessions, and update the maximum number of sessions that are running concurrently. I'll just keep mine at 4, but you can update yours to run more concurrent sessions at once. Now that we're all set, we can click on the Run All button to process the two email accounts. As you can see, Aid4Mail is already processing the Mbox files. And again, these Mbox files are all located inside the zipped files. We didn't have to unzip anything. And there we go. Aid4Mail is able to process both of them. We can now go to our Google Vault PST folder. And here are the PST files that Aid4Mail created from the Google Vault export. As you saw, using an Aid4Mail version 5 enterprise license makes it easy to process Google Vault Mbox exports. Not having to unzip all the files, being able to automate the conversions, and Aid4Mail 5's ability to restore the folder structure is going to save you a lot of time and make your life much easier. If you have any questions, just get in touch with us. Thanks and have a great day.